Yeah, it is true. When I was at the apartment over above the pizza shop at Hometown Pizza, Wayne, when he was doing his building, he left the gas line open, and there was fumes throughout the entire main section of Teeswater back in 2017, October 2017. At the time, I needed sleep, and they were also attacking me. But beside the fact, it could have caused a really bad fire. But beside that fact, then before they got removed, Wayne Keller was poisoning local residents with pipe glue. He was mixing somehow he was concocting a mix in the pizza, where I got poisoned by the pipe glue, as well as Phil Thompson. He was, I think, using the pipe glue as a base, kind of like a tomato sauce. He was doing the bread, or sorry, the crust or dough, and then it would have been the pipe glue, and then it would have been your tomato sauce and the rest of your toppings. This was way before the Gorilla Glue incident down in the United States. Gorilla Glue incident that happened recently, but this was in Teeswater back in 2017. No, Wayne Keller has been since removed. They had to sell it. Basically, the town loved Hometown, but then Phil got poisoned by Wayne, and Phil bought a big order. I only had I think it was when I got poisoned by the glue, and what I mean by poison is once it processed through you, you couldn't go to the bathroom. It was stuck. It stuck your whole insides, your poop and all that was all stuck together, where I couldn't even poop out or whatever, right? Thank God it wasn't too much, because what Phil Thompson got was he got it was an entire meal. It was like, let me see. I wish I had a video of it. I'm so sorry to Phil. He was walking out with a big order of like pizza shop stuff. And he was bringing it home to the family. It wasn't just one box. He had an entire 50 or maybe $75, $80 meal. It was a big thing for Phil. Had I known back then, if Phil would have told me with his words how much what his ambition was, me and Phil were like two deers in a headlight as well with certain things. I would have got Phil walking out with the boxes, because look, I can't even find a picture of a guy, because I do it all the time. I used to buy $80, $90 meals, but then I forgot just how who we are to buy. When your dad buys those big meals, he's special, okay? Because most people just buy one box, and you're very lucky to be able to buy one box. Sorry. I'm so sorry. It's like you're very lucky just to have the one box. But he's got the whole family. So really, he buys more, right? It might have been $100 thing. Anyway, he's walking out with it from the place. And I look a little bit worried, because I had gotten sort of that. I knew it was pipe glue because I heard them laughing about it the night of. But then I looked at Phil, and I looked at him a little bit worrisome. And then Phil got into his truck. And I happened to be renting the apartment above the pizza shop, right? So I go up to the pizza shop. I can't believe at the time, I was sort of stuck in the position. It was like, okay, it's a life experience. I live above the pizza shop. Who knows how long it's going to be? It wasn't anything permanent. And the funny thing is, the money was very precious. But hey, I was so young, it was like, screw it. I'm going to live above the pizza shop. And anyways, so I go back up to my apartment, and you can hear the whole bustle of the pizza shop underneath your apartment. And I was paying top dollar. It was supposed to be penthouse. It was advertised as a penthouse apartment in Teeswater. for $1,100. It was all inclusive, and I had a 1 year lease. But in my penthouse apartment, all I heard was a lot of bad words about me, and it was a lot of business. So anyway, the guy comes in, and I'm paying rent. Really, I own the pizza shop. Really, if you go look at the numbers, I'm really the owner of the place because I'm paying the thousands of dollars rent, which is actually paying. If you don't know, real estate wise, because real estate is business, so they try to take advantage of me. Real estate wise, it's the same mortgage. So the apartment is part of the pizza shop. Usually people will lease a pizza shop and then they live in the apartment, right? It's a combined thing. So I was paying for the pizza shop and people were eating my food right in front of me. But I didn't, and all they would was talk bad about me upstairs. So I said, okay, I've had enough of it. 60-day notice. And that's when they had to sell their pizza shop. I was tired of them. Oh, and what's the story of Phil Thompson? Phil Thompson goes in with his $100 meal, and he says, "Is there something wrong with my meal?" Because Tom was looking at me like there's some weird stuff going on. Because they know me as Tom. The community knows me as Tom, and Tom is like this good guy, you know. And I let Phil know that potential, and then that's when Wayne said that that his food was poisoned, and said that there was pipe glue in it, and he started laughing in Phil's face. And but anyways, they have new owners over there at Hometown now. They have new owners, completely new owners, and they're more of a family joint now. It's the same recipe, except it's not Wayne Keller and it's not Julie McMahon. It was just like Sugar and Spice. See, they used to have this place called Sugar and Spice. But they had a hard time being sweet with people. But here they have some really nice spicy combinations. And it all ended up working out for everyone, as it always does. It always ends up working out. I'm happy I helped get that whole pizza shop all together in Teeswater. That's why I paid the first and last rent. I think I was one of the first people to be able to sit down. So I paid them 3 grand, and that helped them get everything going. And then I paid 1,000 rent, 1,000 rent, 1,000 rent for like 3 or 4 months. And then it was just before Christmas and all that. And it was about time. I felt it in my gut, and they did too. And then I said, I knew it at the time. I said, wait, they're going to have to sell it because I seen something like this. My dad used to own a bar down in Tennessee, and my dad sort of played me off as this, and it was all right because that's their right. If they don't like their tenant, hey, I agree with you. I'll take my money somewhere else, and I'm not a bad guy or nothing. But it all ended up working out because I knew someone was going to come around, somebody with somebody with a much better family that, and this happened before in Tennessee. One of those real hometown locals came around. They said, you know what? We love this hometown pizza. And they picked it up, and that's what they needed. And I haven't had that hometown pizza, and I wish I could have it. And just know this is one of the places Stacks and Millie can't have. He wishes he could have this hometown, but I can't because it's right now. It's only in Teeswater. It's in no other towns. Yeah, these are the real pictures of the hometown. on the actual Facebook. Oh, wait. No, they're in Brussels now. I just ordered from your Brussels location. First time customer. Good job. Great pizza. Thanks. No more driving to Wingham. I hadn't known. Wow, it really turned into something. That's what they were saying. They needed a website, but they weren't talking any numbers with me. See, just like they have what is it called? A menu where you have to purchase. They have to purchase and everything like that. So do we. And to make a website like that, it would cost $50,000 to $75,000 to make one that's a really nice, beautiful. I've learned a lot here in Canada. I used to say, "Hey, pay me $750." No. You want to be big on this internet or whatever and all that? It's going to cost you real money. I want $100,000 or something like that. Especially to be somebody that's like a freaking generator. I'm sitting here on the. I'm like a machine. I'm tired of being used like a machine. Because that's all I've been used like. I'm like a freaking machine that you can buy at the store, and you can't. Like the stuff, the websites and all that. It's just it's more money than it's more money than a generator. A generator costs $2,000, and all it does is supply electricity. Whereas if I programmed or developed a website system to be integrated to whatever phone app you want, or you can log in on your PC, and it's this system or whatever to sell pizzas and get your orders and all that and everything like that. See, it costs more than $2,000 because you're going to be making so much money. It's almost like a harvester. When you go to John Deere and you want to buy a harvester, right? And a harvester is a machine that's going to be generating money, right? Because you're harvesting grain or whatever. So this harvester costs you, they can go up to $300,000, $150,000, $200,000, even $1 million and all that. So the price has gone up for my work. I'm no longer. So don't even think about offering me $100 or nothing like that, or even $1,000. I need $5,000, or I'm not going to do the website. But they didn't have the money, of course. A lot of people don't. But it's cool to see they got that Brussels location. But it's all right. We got harvesters, right? Even Stacks and Millie looks like a harvester. That was my funniest. My favorite song was that International Harvester out of the country. Yeah, I'm a big harvester, if you didn't know. And that's why I'm allowed to own firearms here in Canada, because I'm from a harvesting family, and we harvest a lot. And my dad's got a lot of acres, and so does my uncle. I don't have any acres yet, but I'll tell you what, when I do, we're going to actually be harvesting stuff on my acres. It's not going to be a waste of land. But anyways, back to hometown. It looks like they decorated all the different Halloween was spooky in Teeswater. Especially above that pizza shop. But during the daytime, okay, if you're just a patron or if you live in a house or something, you don't live in this scary apartment above Teeswater, then hometown's very welcoming. But these aren't the real pictures of it. There's a lot of girls in Teeswater. We got breadsticks. Look at this, the cinnamon one. Oh, this is what I am craving. I live in Port Elgin. It's like 55 miles north of hometown, and I do these videos. So the only time it would have to be a big plan. I would have to ride my motorcycle all the way down to 55 miles down to Teeswater. I would have to sneak in on video or whatever, doing a video, and buy it because I'm scared of Phil Thompson and all them. I don't want to get stuck. I don't want to get stuck in Teeswater. That's all I know. Can you afford to get stuck in Teeswater? Some of you are laughing. Some of you are laughing. You live in Teeswater. So, but look at this one. This one's like a Big Mac one, Big Town sub. So this one right here would count because this is what made Stacks and Millie fat. This is the reason why I am so big. It was stuff like this. It was, you don't have to actually get up and go to the grocery store because here's your burger with your sauce and your lettuce and all on the pizza. You don't even have to get out of your office chair, your chair at home. You can just call and have it delivered. Try that for 10 years and you're going to be as fat as I am. Okay, but this is the kind of stuff that would make you do it, would be these, like this Big Mac one. I don't even want to go to McDonald's, like, because you can just order that. But then eventually, believe it or not, you get sick of the glutinous, you get sick of the certain crust. But then some people that have never had dough, for 10 years, I was addicted to pizza dough. I loved pizza dough. All I ate was different kinds of pizza. So it depends on what point you're at with how much pizza you've eaten. Some people, they see a pizza and it's hard to explain. Even one slice of pizza. I wonder if they sell slices. And then you move up to the whole pie. You start out generally with the slices, and then you want to be the big woman or the man and all that. You want to buy the pies and feed the whole family with them, and maybe you're even one of those guys that don't have a family, but you're going to eat as much as the whole family. They got really good salads. They even have some girls out there that be eating the whole goddamn pie. I know them. Like Haley, I'm sure she can. I don't think Haley eats a whole pie, but I think she could eat like maybe a quarter or a half, maybe a quarter. I think for sure she could eat like 3 or 4. Oh, I remember the days. Oh my God, it makes me go back. It was a guilt trip when you ate pizza. It was like you had your one slice and then maybe you moved to 2. If you're a really big man or usually a fat guy, you'd have 3 and then 4 slices. But I can't, because now I have the whole pie. It's like 12. You don't even count the slices. But I remember the days like 3 or 4 slices. That's what it normally is. Okay, I had the privilege of eating the whole pie. I think that was a dream when I was young. I wanted to be able to eat the whole pies. But like I said, once you've eaten the whole pies, but look at these things. These look different than your standard pizza pie. These are expensive. This dragon thing, I've seen these down in the flea market in Florida. Those are expensive freaking dragons. We're not rich. We're just the same as Hometown. I'm just the same as Hometown. No, I'm not even. Hometown, you know how many sales Hometown's making? Hometown is making a lot of sales. A lot of sales. And we knew they would. Where's Brussels? It's a town in Ontario. I love towns. And I don't know what movie it was, but it talked about America and Canada too, and other places, Mexico or whatever country. There's so many different countries. About towns versus cities. They're like these there's so many different names of towns, and each town has its own world. And some people never leave their small town, and some people are new to town. Some people are moving out of town. Some people are going to a new town. Just learning town. Meeting all the new folks in town. There's so much cool things in these towns. And here's Brussels, and it looks like a cool town too. Public library. And then in Canada, we have our towns. But then it's What season are you thinking of the town? What time period? Because there's the current time, the future, and then you have the history of the town. And I never got up to modern history with the town, really. The town's really, I mean, but now I've found my place, and hopefully I can create some real history. Because people like to push you out of your future and all that when they are thinking ahead. So I learned you got to come up with legalities when people are trying to illegally push you out of your future and all that. And that was why I finally have bought a firearm here in Canada. So that when I finally do buy my home or my property here in Canada, just like I have the right to do, whether it be here in the town of Brussels or the town anywhere, I can choose to go anywhere in Ontario. Actually, under law, I could go to anywhere, but I choose to live in Ontario because that's where I get my disability support. So why would I go anywhere else than somewhere I was born? I was born right over here. Well, actually, I was born in Guelph, but I'm originally from this area here. And then I moved to, well, actually, I lived in the United States, in Florida and Tennessee. But before that, I was from Hillsburg, Erin, Alton, and Acton. And then my mom and dad got married in Aurora Gorge, right here and all that. And I was born around here. And then we moved to Cambridge and Guelph. I lived in Guelph, and I've been all around. And we went all around Canada even before that. But then after, I think like some 10 years in Canada when I was younger, 10 or 11 years, we moved down to Florida for 7 years. And then I moved to Tennessee for a year and a half. And then I didn't move, but I went up to Edmonton. Well, I guess I moved. I took a flight all by myself. My dad bought me a ticket. I took a flight by myself all the way up to Edmonton. My brother was up there, and then I got to go to Calgary and Edmonton and that big mall over there and all that. And then me and my brother drove all the way from Saskatchewan, or we drove all the way from, we went to Banff, almost out to BC and all that. We had lots of good times out there. Then we finally drove, I was in Okotoks. I went to school in Okotoks Junior High School for a little bit, like maybe 3 or 4 months. I think it was the beginning of the school year all the way until just after my birthday. So it would have been September to November. No, I was there even in the winter time because I remember. So I think it was, it was just before Christmas. So it was September till December. So it's a big congratulations to Stacks and Millie for making it so far to be this guy. Like, in 5 years, you're going to be so proud of me when I have my car and all this stuff. The gun was just the beginning, and I'm so tired of the gun. Like, Thomas Perron-Slote's moving on. I'm buying a house. I'm getting a car. I'm getting all this stuff. But that's generally around the time when some of the people were having problems with trying to set me up and rob me or whatever. But that ain't a problem anymore, they're saying. The government's well aware that I am who I am. Anyways, but now I live south of Owen Sound. Shout out to Owen Sound. But guess what I got to do? Oh, my God, I've gotten to do a lot of stuff. I even got to go to county jail just north of Barrie here. Actually, all the way north of Midland, right up over here. I went to county jail. I had known some areas, but I didn't know. This was when Thomas didn't even know Ontario, Southern Ontario. And I'm still learning all this, right? With all these. There's where my brother went to prison, Gravenhurst and Bracebridge, and then they moved him up north. He went for 3.5 years. We got here. I only went in and out of jail for us, and then I had a small sentence of only like maybe 4 months. It was a 6-month conditional or what have you, and then it was in Canada. Once you do only a 2/3, if you don't get in any trouble, I didn't get in any trouble, they released me. On my good time, it was my earliest discharge. That was my first time ever going to jail or military or anything like that. Was when I went to jail, I got to meet my cousins from Barrie. Yeah, Nick Jenkins is one of them, but then also that Sarah, that correctional officer, and Sarah wasn't the only one. Her brother, and then also lots of other ones. I'd say probably the whole force of COs were related to me. And I wasn't very much related. I wasn't related very much to any of the ones that were locked up. Anyways, but guess what I got to learn? One of the things that I got to learn in jail was these areas. I had never went to Midland, Barrie. I always wanted to go there. They paid for my travel to Barrie. They paid for my travel to Midland. They paid for my travel to Penetanguishene. They paid for my travel to Owen Sound. They paid for my education to learn about Parry Sound. I learned about, I got to learn about London, EMDC history and all that. I was only 6 months in. I got to learn so much stuff that I didn't know before. So I charge it. It's almost like an educational charge. I paid, what, $15,000 or something probably, and all this legal out. Like, I consider all the twists and turns that I had to take and all that. It was so expensive. Anyways, there's Brussels, just north of Listowel. And I got to learn about Listowel because there was a guy in there. He's a famous guy. No, he was from Lucknow. I got to learn through my experiences because I wouldn't even have looked at the map probably, guys. But now I know there's Lucknow. And there was a guy in there that could do a horse kick like you wouldn't believe. And he was from Lucknow, and he taught me a lesson. And I wouldn't be able to say his name, but he was from Lucknow, and he had a horse kick. And he was in the jail. 2017 would have been December 2017. So there was Teeswater, and there's Port Elgin. I'm not too very far. See, because I was from Southampton, really, and originally I was from. Well, I've been everywhere. Originally, I'm not from anywhere because my dad, he owns his house, but I never owned a house yet. I'm still a first-time home buyer. But if we go look at a map, sometime in my life or whatever, I lived in Southampton, where I had a lot of assets, right? And I had money to pay rent first and last, and more than that, I had lots of assets. Celebrity is what they would call me, I guess, if you're starting from the ground up. But really, I'm just a nobody kid, really. But I got money paying rent. He lived in a 4-bedroom house paying rent and all that. I'm doing all right, right? And all that. So anyways, what was it? Southampton. Oh, I seen an advertisement on Kijiji. See, because I was like, okay, where am I going to bring my money? I had money saved. I had like $5,000, $10,000. So I said, where am I going to move? I'm going to move to, I think Michelin had said, hey, you can keep paying rent and live in this 4-bedroom mansion here in Southampton. But I was like, no, I want to learn my lesson. And didn't even know where Teeswater was. I didn't know where Teeswater was. So it was the end of my lease. And I was like, I have this little 32-kilometer e-bike. My computer's like the old computer and all that. So I want to do some adventuring. So then I did some research and I heard, oh my God, this Teeswater's got the Teeswater Fair and all that. So I said, hey, this Kijiji ad, they have this apartment out there, $800 a month and all that. That was Phil Thompson. So anyways, I contacted them. But then I was like, hey, it's a little bit not my area. I might be picked on out there. I don't own a gun or nothing. And actually, at the time, I didn't own a truck. But I didn't think of it that much. I thought I fit in so much, right? And so then I paid first and last to Phil. And I moved in there, and beside the fact, but then when I was there, they had a lot of cool, no, they didn't. They had a truck for sale on Kijiji. It was a Cadillac Escalade. And this is when, believe it or not, I quit smoking marijuana. I talked to Phil, or I said, I'm quitting marijuana to buy this truck. So I quit marijuana for like the whole time I was at Phil's, like maybe 3 or 4 months. And then I bought the Cadillac. And then I had a Cadillac. And then the fair came around. It was a great fair. I mean, you'll have a much better time at the fair than me. But guess what? I had a good time at the fair. I had this e-bike. I rolled up on the e-bike. I didn't think anybody was going to look at my e-bike because everybody else has got trucks and trailers and all that, and big motorcycles. But believe it or not, like my e-bike was catching looks and all that. And that was kind of the cute thing. It was like in Teeswater, if you were a guy or a man or some kind of man, whether you rented, it's really the older elders, they own their house, but it felt good to even be like a kid that rented and been able to get on his e-bike, and it's a cool red e-bike and go down to the fair like a normal citizen and all that. So I got to do that. Will I ever go back to the Teeswater Fair? Probably not, because I had a good video of it. And they cut my electricity off. So the video was so good. It was so good that I edited it all night. And at the time, they acted like that was nothing. But no, 10-hour editing and all that is like, it really used to be a $75,000 or $50,000. It used to be big money. People used to charge like 20 grand or 10 grand or 5 grand or 3 grand at least to edit one of these videos or whatever. And I'm up all night. And I'm the one I'm paying my rent to pay the electricity and all that. And then my electricity gets cut out. The full fair virtual experience, 1080p with the thing and all that. But that's always been the funny thing with these guys that I don't see. I'm a gated community type of guy. These guys are like not gated community types. They are like idiots, some of them. Okay? Like that would have been a great video, but hey, you lost just like sugar and spice. That's my favorite thing to say. Just like sugar and spice. But in the end, hey, congratulations to your town, and that's how it'll be. But that doesn't give you legal rights. It's like some of them keep thinking that any money that I make in the future is their money. No. You chose to go on that side of the fence. So when you start to see all these really cool things that I get to buy and all that, there's nothing you're going to be able to do. You chose to not want to be on the videos with the really nice video. When one of your key men, you allowed your key men, like the police allowed Phil Thompson and Wayne to home invade me and cut off my electricity and yada yada. So no, they won't be able to touch my assets. There's no legalities. They couldn't sue me or anything. I just happened to be their tenant. 7 years ago, I happened to be their tenant. And I gave them their notice, and everything was done legally. And then Phil Thompson, I was no longer at Phil Thompson's apartment. I changed apartments. I gave him a notice. I paid him $4,000 to deal with any damages. And then I left to another apartment where I paid first and last, which happened to be in the same town. But even though it's in the same town, you can't home invade me, kill me, or anything like that because you're mad that I switched apartments. So then I got to go to the fair, but they destroyed the fair video. But they will suffer in hell over that legally. Thank God.